Welcome back to Elevate Your Event Live. And apologies for being a little bit delayed there. We're just trying to figure out exactly how to get this broadcast going. We are in a really cool new studio.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about that. Our friends at Brand Viva have invited us in to check this place out. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, I could get addicted to this.
I know, me too.
I know, it's pretty awesome.
I do like it.
But anyway, formal introductions. Jeff Porter, CEO of Handbid, and I brought on special talent today.
No. Lori Mackay.
Lori was our onboarding specialist in client services, but she has recently taken on the role of running marketing at Handbid. Mm-hmm. And because she didn't read the fine print in her employment contract, it stated that she had to attend all of these Elevate Your Event Live seminars.
Here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am.
She loves being on camera. One of these days I'm going to get off a camera and it's going to just be her here.
I don't know about that, Jeff. I don't know about that. I think we're good.
Okay, so Elevate Your Event. You know, we run maybe you don't know, but we run a weekly podcast, and we try to talk about all the various ways you can make your next fundraising event better. And so we've decided to add a live element to that. And so this is it. So we've done one before in a way less attractive place, a.k.a. the Handbid offices. But now we've moved into this really cool studio. And so we're doing episode number 2. You know what, guys? I know it's the end of the year. Thank you guys for attending. Merry Christmas to those who celebrate Christmas. Mm-hmm. We've had a fantastic and fun 2023. We can't wait for 2024.
Yeah.
So let's get into this because we know you have some last minute Christmas shopping to do. All right. So, okay. Every month, what we're going to do on these live events is we're talking about event best practices. Same thing we do in the podcast. We might suck some of that back in from a certain podcast episode to talk about. We'll do tips and tricks. We call them pro tips, but we're not really that pro. But anyway, it's just kind of easier ways for you guys to maybe use the software or save you some time or, I don't know, maybe even save you some money. And then we'll talk about what's next or what's coming up in the Handbid software, either things that we've recently released, some things we fixed, or some things that are coming up. And we're going to do some demos today on that also.
Cool.
So bear with us here. Okay. So it is recorded. So if you have to leave early, please don't leave early. But if you have to, trust that you'll be able to go back and watch the rest of this. For those of you that you think might have a friend or a colleague who might be interested in some of this material, certainly send them the recording. That'd be great. It is live, so we want to do more demos. We want to do less of the, slides, but we have a couple slides to kind of guide us along the way, so we will use those. But trust me, we're going to get interactive here for sure. And ask questions. We've got some of our staff, and they normally would sit here in the room, and they would, we'd pick on them a little bit, and they would be answering your questions. But, ideally, they're over there frantically typing away. I can see them right off stage here. And so hopefully you guys are able to ask some questions and kind of get going.
Ask any question about Handbid.
Make it a hard question.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Really
stump them. This is your chance.
Maybe there'd be a Handbid gift card to any of you that can stump one of the Handbid experts who's answering questions offline.
Wow.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
That would be awesome.
All right. I love it. Okay. So should we start off with an event best practice?
Event best practice from podcast number 41, Jeff. This was called Going Beyond the Formal Gala. So we want to bring something that we've been seeing as experts in the field. A lot of us go to events and see a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. And one of the quotes we like to say is we know a lot because we've seen a lot. And so we want to share with you these best practices. So this one today, this might rub a couple of you wrong. So just take it with the intention that we're giving it to you in. Consider ditching the formal gala. Yes, consider ditching the formal gala. I know. So a formal gala, Jeff, what do we see? Tables, typically round tables, covered with tablecloths, set with china, servers running all over the place, right? And everybody's kind of, they're kind of a little bit constrained to a table with a set menu. Okay, maybe they chose chicken or beef before they came, but a set menu.
Wait a second. Are you telling me you're taking away my little butterball and my raspberry vinaigrette that goes on my salad.
You can always have a butterball raspberry vinaigrette station or something, Jeff. I would let you do that. Like, that would be cool if you
I
want.
want the rubber chicken, the 2 or 3 green beans, the little butterball, and the raspberry vinaigrette.
Yes, and the people like saying you have to eat within a specific amount of time too.
Yes.
Right.
And the lady that comes by to pick up my plate because they're trying to move along with the
Yeah.
program and I'm eating too slow.
Yes,
It's never
so-
really a problem for me. I'm just lying. But anyway.
Yeah, we're asking you to consider ditching it. What we've seen is a transition, especially after the COVID years, of going to more of an informal environment. So we're seeing stuff like food trucks. We're seeing stuff like no seating. As
I
far
love
as
food
table.
trucks.
I love
mean,
food trucks too.
So we've done all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do like what you're talking about. And we did that, right? So we had at one point a formal gala, then we went to buffet and that was awful. Then we went to stations, talk about why later, but we went to stations and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then we're like, you know what? I mean, it was time because we moved our event outdoors. It was time to try something different. And obviously the complaint with food trucks was, well, they're not really classy. That was one complaint. But they take too long, right? Because people have to go up there, they have to order their food, they have to wait around forever for it. And we solved that problem in advance. So the food trucks were there. They had a really good variety of food, but they would put a table out in front and we already kind of predefined, almost like stations, what they would serve. So all they were doing, like the Denver taco truck, was just cranking out like steak and chicken and veggie tacos. That's it. There was no custom ordering, unless you had a dietary issue that you could do.
Yeah.
And so there was no lines.
And
You
the food
literally
truck-
just walked up and grabbed a couple of boats and
Yeah, and the food truck companies love it because they're getting free promotion, free marketing. You give them some good parameters around it as far as, what they're going to serve. And you can have multiple food trucks, you guys. I mean, I went to an event, I think there was probably 10 food trucks.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't have a place where you can park food trucks. Maybe you can have food stations where they're still being served, the same thing they would get from a food truck, but maybe there's stations all around. So just think outside of the box.
yeah, it was way cheaper for us.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say way cheaper, it was way cheaper because a lot of our catering costs was built into staff, past hors d'oeuvres, a lot of stuff that we eliminated and went to this model and it worked great.
Yeah.
So
So less formal galas, a little bit, to kind of informalize it a little bit, make it a little bit more casual, just consider that. But some of the things to consider when you're thinking about why ditch the gala? Why should I get rid of the gala? First thing that we came across that we found to be super valuable is you're going to attract that younger generation, the millennial Gen Z generation. And yes, you guys, they have money to spend for fundraising. They do. And so we want to tap into them as well. Okay.
Right.
So really consider themed events, live entertainment, right? We talked about multiple food options with the food truck. And then one of the things that we're loving right now is some fast-paced competitive games. So what have you seen for fast-paced competitive games? It's hard to say.
pickleball. I mean,
Pickleball?
I saw, yes.
At a fundraiser?
I saw pickleball. I saw a pickleball tournament and it was fun.
Yeah.
But beer pong, I don't think beer pong's necessarily fast paced, but
Yeah. Fun.
it was fun.
It's fun and it can be competitive. And even just the silent auction, using that and having different ways to create competition around that. So just kind of think outside the box
Yep.
a little bit.
Cornhole.
Games. Yeah, games, things like that. And it also kind of spreads things out throughout the event, gives them
Right.
things to do.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think it's fun. The second reason that you want to consider ditching the gala is creating an Instagram-worthy experience, okay? You guys know this. Nowadays, everybody's taking a selfie. Jeff, take one right of us right now. Let's take a selfie of our experience right now while we're sitting here filming this podcast, right? We're going to send this out, promote it like crazy for you guys. So, I mean...
Lori will show you how to post it on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah, you can always call me. I'll help you with that. But you want to create an experience that people want to share with their friends, okay? It needs to be cool.
Yeah.
It needs to be something they want to invite their friends to, right?
Yeah, we added a photo booth to ours, and actually Hambit has a shameless plug.
Yes.
Hambit has a photo booth that if you're in town, you can rent. It is a huge draw. I
Crazy.
mean, and so the way ours works is that you can set it up, theme it. It's got your backdrop, your kind of overlays and stuff, and it literally people can text their photos to themselves. And like you set it up, you don't pay attention to it. At the end of the night, you go back, you take it down, you go home, you open up your iPad, and you see 6,000 photos, and 90% of them are millennials and Gen Zs.
Yes. And they'll
Or
sit
my
there-
kids, by the way.
They'll
which are
sit there
Tinsy.
for an hour taking different pictures.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's, anyway, that's what you want, right? You're looking for engagement. You're going to find it there. You're thinking, well, I don't want them taking photos. I want
Yeah.
them donating. They'll get there. Millennials get picked on a lot, but they are the largest generation by population. So they are going to be your future.
Absolutely. Yeah, and consider that this is also free promotion for your organization and the event that you're running. So create a hashtag around your event so
Yeah.
that when people are sharing it on social, you're getting a little bit of attention from that as well. So
I agree.
really be considering, we're saying Instagram worthy. This isn't just for millennials and Gen Z. I mean, other people post on Instagram. I'm not a
You
millennial.
should have
or
an
Gen Z.
Instagram account.
Yes, you should. So definitely think about, when you're thinking about why should I consider doing something different than a formal gala, think about creating something a little bit more Instagram worthy. What would you want to take a picture of when
And we're only saying Instagram. You don't need to do the TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
Yet.
Not yet.
Maybe soon. I don't know.
No.
I just see my daughters doing it everywhere. So
I like that, Jeff. That was really.
Was that good?
Ooh, yeah, it was good.
Okay.
It was scrummy. All right. And then the last reason to consider ditching the formal gala, especially if you've been doing this since the beginning of your organization, is really to give your donors a view that you are more innovative, that you are actually coming up with some really cool new ideas, right?
yeah, like maybe using mobile bidding software.
Yeah,
Good
which
job.
you've already done
Yeah.
that. Yes. So keep the interest of your donors and create unique events that they want to invite their friends to. So we want to make sure that you're coming off as innovative, that they're not coming to the same event year over year over year over year. Really consider changing it up a little bit.
Changing it
So that would be our big event best practice.
I know.
That we're
And-
seeing right now. So
My grandmother used to say, no one likes change but wet babies. But it's time to change, you guys. It's
it
absolutely
is time to change. Yep. Yep.
What's next? What are we talking about?
Pro tip.
A pro tip.
So this is going to help save you some time and effort in your
Who's
pro
the
tip.
pro that's going to show this tip?
Well, I'm going to talk about it, but I think you're actually going to show it. Jeff's more the pro, as you guys know.
No, she put me on the spot, but
You
it's
guys
all
know.
good. It's all good. What's our tip? Should we
Yes.
skip to it?
Yeah, let's skip right to it. So our next one is adding auction items using the Handbid app. Now, if you guys haven't seen this, we're going to rock your world today with this feature. It is going to be awesome. It is easy. It helps you leverage your team, and you can do it on the go. Right. You do not have to wait to add items to your auction for when you're at home and you've uploaded everything and then you download everything and then you find your images and then you just do it. You know what? I got this item. Let me take a picture. So
Oh my God. And I remember the days before we built this feature where you go in, you take your spreadsheet, you upload everything. Okay. Then you realize you made a bunch of typo errors. And so you've got all the items in the display sheets printed and you're putting them out and you realize you got to go back and make all these edits in Handbid. And then you didn't get all the photos or they're not matched up correctly. Or anyway, I go back. I have horror memories of like laying on my stomach and taking photos of items, and then trying to figure out how to get them off my phone and into Handbid. This solves all that.
solves all of it. So do we want to show what it looks like in the software?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So while Jeff's pulling that up, I'm going to tell you a story about my friend Elise. If you're fortunate enough to have worked an event with Elise, she's a ball. And she and I were working an event that had, I might get the number wrong, probably around 75 to 80 vases that were handmade by children that we were helping to fundraise for. And it was really cool, options. But imagine taking pictures of 75 to 80. Oh, Elise is saying there was more like 90. The code.
I don't need it.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know what she's got talking to me for. I think she was saying that there's more like 90 to 100. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Vases that we had to take pictures of. And so we are at the place to help set up the auction, because we actually do provide that service at Handbid, where we'll come and set everything up for you. And we're there setting everything up, and we had to take pictures and do descriptions of 90 different vases. So we split the work in half. I did half, she did half. I would grab my iPhone, take a picture of the image, take a picture of the vase, type the description in, boom, upload it to
Okay, hold
Handbid,
on.
move on.
Time out. Okay. I'm glad you're sharing this story because you had 1 year of experience with that. Okay. We've been doing this event for, I think, 8 years. Okay?
Yeah.
I have 7 of doing what you just described. 7.
Before the iPhone.
Yes.
Yes. Well, before
Yes.
the iPhone app functionality.
Yes.
Wasn't before the iPhone.
I know. So thank
Yep.
God for technological advancement.
Yes.
Love
so
it.
Jeff's
Should we
gonna
show
share.
something here?
Yeah, let's share your screen.
Okay, so
Let's take a look at that. That looks cool.
well, and let's go to the back end here real quick. What I want to do is just show you when you go to your bidders list how you turn this on. So unfortunately, you guys, they have to be a manager in your org. They can't be a team member. Yeah, maybe we'll add that in the future. But you're gonna have to find somebody who's a manager in your org. They're gonna have to be a bidder. And then because they are a manager, they have some extra rights down here. Normally, we'll let any bidder in your auction check and guess, right? You obviously turn it on, but for the rest of them, these you have to have a manager status to. So items management is key. You got to turn that on, okay? So that when we go back to the phone, what you're going to see, if I go back to my dashboard, is I've got this little admin button down here. And when I'm on my phone here, so when I tap it, it's going to pull up and give me some admin tools. And so one of them would be creating an item, okay? So we let you create auction items for sale items, appeal items. The appeal item, this saved me.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at an event, working a Handbid event, and what happened was the staff had forgotten, like the charity staff had forgotten to put in all of the appeals, and the auctioneer's like starting at 10 grand. I'm like, woo! So I'm quickly in here like adding these items so that we can get it going. So it does help because when you're out and about and you're not in front of a laptop, this is just a big lifesaver. So auction item, I'm out on the floor. Somebody brought it in. They put it on the table. We're gonna add this really cool brand Viva mug into our auction here. So I'm gonna put in an item code here. What does this do? BV mug. And you can use numbers 101, 102, whatever you want. Okay. And we're just gonna call this a brand Viva commemorative. Don't you love auto spell? Mug, okay? And we'll just put in a quick description. You could talk into this. I'm not going to do that on this demo, but you literally could hit the mic and just say what it is and then clean it up. And must take this home tonight. All right, that'll save us some time. Okay, and then let's put this in like the silent auction category. Okay, and what is this amazing mug worth?
Easily $500, Jeff.
500. Okay. 500. Okay.
It's a special one.
We used to have some rules. We used to have some automation in here, and we took it out. I think we're going to put it back in that would automatically suggest starting bids. It's a rule of thumb. I mean, it's really more of an art than a science, but I'm going to start it at 200. And then the bid increments we're going to set automatically. It's going to set the bid increment around $20. I'm not going to put in a reserve. A reserve is a lot of our commercial clients do that. You guys are welcome to do it. There are laws in different states around auctioning off items with reserve, so you need to understand those. But you could say, you know what, I don't want this to go for less than 400, and so you could put a reserve price in, and then Handbid won't let it go for less than 400. Or we could put a buy now in here. You said 500, but maybe we want a $750 buy now. Okay. I could add an image right now. We're going to come back so I can show you the other part of this. So we're just going to add this guy like this. And so look at this. I can open it on the fly. We're going to open it later. I can hide it for now. Let's just add it. And again, I'm just all in the iPhone. I am not doing anything on the back-end manager. So we're just going to sneak through this auction now over to the silent auction category. We're just going to find that. Wow, this has got category creep. I like to call that in our demo auctions.
When there's too many categories?
Yes, when too many people demo in this auction. Okay, so here we are. Here's our mug. Okay, it is not open for bidding. I didn't hide it, so it's visible. Okay, so that's kind of a key thing you have to do. But I can add a photo by hitting this little photo button. I'll say image from camera, and let's just take an amazing photo of this guy. Boom. I love it.
Boom.
Use it. Okay, there it is. I'm going to make it primary. I'm going to add that image. It's going to pop in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this guy. And if I'm happy with it, let's change his status to open. Okay? All right.
Awesome.
How cool is that? Should we bid on it?
If you
I
want.
want to buy it.
You going to buy it
Let's
today
bid
for $750?
Maybe.
The other thing...
But we didn't do anything in our auction manager.
Right.
All we literally did was go into our iPhone. We turned it on. It works on Android too. Sorry, Android users, we're not ignoring you. And then I put this in.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love it. And I mean, I've just done a big bulk import before as well, and then only did my images through the app as well. So I
You do
mean,
that?
if you guys, want to maybe baby step into this rather than jump completely into it, do your bulk import and then stand there and take all your pictures with your iPhone.
Yeah.
Just as easy.
So it doesn't give you a ton of tools around cropping and resizing and stuff that you get on a computer. Maybe one of these days we'll figure that out, but it is a pretty cut and dry, pretty simple. Snap the photo. If you don't like it, say no, snap it again. Or if you've got them all in your, like, say it's some stock photo you downloaded to your iPhone, you can pull it out of your image library. You don't have to just use the camera.
Yep. I love it. So it's easy. You can leverage your team because you can split the work up better.
Yeah.
Yep. You can leverage them. Plus, they can do it from anywhere, right? And then again, do it on the go. You don't have to wait till you're sitting in front of a computer anymore. You've got your iPhone. One of the many things I love about our iPhone. Maybe sometime we'll talk about iPhone check-in.
Oh, Lord, yes.
That's my number one super favorite thing, you guys. And I had to make myself do it because I am a creature of habit and I work a lot of events. Yep, you can check in guests right from your iPhone. And you know how fast you are on your iPhone. I'm almost faster on my iPhone now than I would be on a computer anyway. That's one thing to put in the pocket.
So just so you guys understand kind of how technology works, a lot of the mechanics on how a guest list check-in or these item management tools work on a phone with native code running on, that's why we have an app, okay? It's always going to be faster than the web. So even though you might have a really killer laptop, there's just a lot of JavaScript and other things running on those computers. They work great. This is going to be faster. And it's portable, right? I mean, that's the thing I love. And a lot of these tools that you see built into these apps, they're there because we work events just like you guys do. We've been to hundreds of them, and we're like, we'll get back together, and on a Monday or a Tuesday, we'll be in the office, like, you know what we need? We need to be able to add items from our iPhone.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, that was our hand bid
pro tip.
pro tip.
I love it. Pro tip.
Yep.
What's next?
All right, moving on to what was recently added to. So now we're looking at our new release that's out. So we're going to show you some of our software stuff that's coming up.
Yeah.
And
I have to warn you guys, sometimes things are just not sexy that we go work on, but they're super important. So some of the stuff that we've been working on over the course of the fall has been extremely important. Here's the other thing, though, is we don't do a ton of releases in the fall because you guys are running so many auctions. We don't want to disrupt that. So if it's critical or if we think it's really going to be helpful, we'll throw it out there. But in a lot of cases, we'll wait until this time period and then we'll toss a whole bunch of stuff that feels like it's been queued up out. So we got some cool stuff to show.
yeah, and this just goes to show you guys that all your feedback that you give to us, we listen to it.
Yeah.
We really do. So if there's something you'd like to see, we definitely take a look at it. We talk about it in our development meetings. I mean, we would love to hear your feedback.
And so in some of the stuff that we've messed around with or added is specifically, I would say unique requests that we're like, you asked for this. I think all of our clients would benefit from it. Let's add it.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so what are we going to talk about?
First one's
Okay.
up.
Oh, Stripe Connect updates. Okay, so this is not the sexy one, right? We have completely rebuilt and revamped our payment system. It's going to come with some changes, all good stuff. We can further expand the types of payments methods that you guys collect. And then we can start integrating other third parties into that. We are also able to, we're going to change a little bit about how we handle partial payments and refunds and stuff, and what that's going to allow us to do. For those of you who synchronize all of your transactions into your CRM, we're going to be able to pull all that item data with it. So you'll know not just they donated $100 or they spent $100, but they spent it on these specific items. So that was an important update for us, and it took quite a while because payments in a platform like this, they touch almost everything. So we're excited that one's going to get done. That's also going to allow us to implement and use Stripe's wireless charger. So we're excited about that. And so we'll start that work here probably beginning of the year and try to get those out quickly. But we have to get all this stuff out first, okay? Private event codes, this came from a client. And so we'll demo that. I'll show you kind of how that works. We fixed an issue with people that were using the pay later feature for sponsorships with transferring those tickets. Sorry about that. That's fixed. And then the global purchases report, which we've added and then we've further enhanced. For those of you who have run auctions with us throughout the years, or you run hundreds of auctions a year, or you run hundreds of auctions a year across 10 years, you have a lot of data and you have a lot of purchases, and you want to be able to do annual reporting, or you want to be able to do, which person spent the most money with me over this time period. We have all those reports now built in, which is kind of cool. So I'll just kind of point you in the interface to where those are, and then we can come back to that.
Yeah.
So should we dive into some of this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what are we going to talk about first?
I think we were talking about Stripe, so private event codes.
Oh, yeah, private event codes. So let me show you where those are. So underneath the event tab now, you can make an event private, and it's going to come and ask you for a code. Okay, so if you turn this on, anybody who's not a registered bidder in your auction is going to be asked to enter this code. So it's not anything they can figure out. You're going to have to tell them. So if this is the type of private event where you still have to invite them and you give them the code. So you'll say, when you get to the site, type in this code, okay? If they forget the code or you want them to bypass the code, just register them as a bidder. They won't get the prompt. This will work in the apps, and it also works on the web. So I'll show you quickly on the web. It's just easier. So let's go down here to the web, and let's go ahead and find our Handbid demo auction that we were in. And let's go there. Oh, look at that.
There it is.
Private event.
It's a private event.
What did I make that code? XMS23. And if it works, boom, it lets you.
Yep. I love that.
Kind of neat, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a lot of clients that have been asking for that. I think it's going to be awesome.
Ask me. I'm going to get it done faster than her. I'm just kidding.
It's true.
It's funny. I think that one was where I was like, hey, I think we're going to have this private event code thing. And Laura's like, people have been asking me that for weeks, months, years, whatever. I'm like, oh, wow. I thought it was kind of a cool idea.
I love it.
Just kidding.
That's funny.
We do talk, by the way. Okay.
Next one, transfer pay later tickets.
Yeah, we fixed it.
Yep.
I mean, so, and for you guys to understand kind of how our pay later transfer ticket thing works, underneath tickets, if you want to kind of create what we call a sponsorship, what you can do, let's take this VIP ticket, for example, is you can allow purchases to pay later. So if you've got people that are, wanting to spend money with a check, or they're buying a $20,000 sponsorship or an $8,000 table, and they don't want to use their credit card, they don't want to pay up front, but you want them to go to the site and register so that they can manage their guest list, you just turn this feature on, and then they can do that. And so there was an issue where if you wanted to transfer ownership of that entire purchase once they made it to somebody else, it was getting mad at you. It doesn't get mad at you anymore.
Yep.
So anyway, sorry about that. Oh, global purchases. Let me quickly show you where that is, and then we can kind of bounce. I want to show you some other stuff. Well, before we get out of here, let me show you some other stuff that we've done. So a couple things is we've cleaned up this bulk actions thing, and so I'm not going to, I got to select an item. Hello, Jeff. So I'm not going to get into it, but we've kind of cleaned up a lot of how this stuff works, so you don't have to sit here and kind of check the hide or show or whatever. So there's some new sliders in here. We allow you to now copy items to an auction, so that's in here as well. Just a little bit cleaner than it was before. Okay. So let's come back and talk about some of the other ones there. Let me quickly bounce out to the global purchases report. And we're not going to totally get into it, but it pulls up here. And just to kind of show you, just like our other purchases report, you can customize what fields you want in that report. So if you want, I would include the item name. Someone came in here and turned it off, but maybe you don't need the codes. You don't care about that. You don't care what the starting bid was. You just care about what the reserve was and what it was sold for. So you can make those adjustments and save it, and then it'll restructure your columns. Okay. And then from there, you can select purchases by date, type, whatever. So if I want to say, give me everything in 2018 and 2019 or whatever, you can do that. Okay. Or you can create date ranges and whatnot. If you want to see all the auction items, or maybe you don't want to see any tickets, you could take that out. Okay. And then You can search for certain event names. You can look for all of your auctions versus all your campaigns. Again, this is global, so it's kind of going across everything. If you only want to find people by a certain bidder name, you can do that. I was talking to you about that earlier. So anyway, powerful report. Whatever you end up generating, you can obviously export as a CSV or a PDF. Okay?
Yeah, and remember, global purchases is on the organizational level off the main dashboard. Okay,
Yep.
so it will not be on the auction level because it is global. So it's the organization wide. Okay, so just to give you perspective on how to find that.
Yes. Global.
Global.
That's why we call it global.
All right, so we're ready to go to what's coming up? Or do
Yeah.
you have a couple more things in your pocket?
No, we could talk about that.
Okay.
So we've got a change log, we got item updates. So let's kind of dive into what some of those things are. Uploading, purchase limits. This is a big one asked for. Purchase limits on for sale items. So if you're doing voting, normally we think of voting as you can create an item and make it a vote. And people want to not limit that because they turn it into a donation. But if you really were trying to do something that were said, hey, I'm only giving everybody 3 votes or something,
Right.
then you would want to have a limit on that. And then customize bidder question. We'll talk a little bit about what that means and kind of how it looks. But okay, so getting back into the items thing here. So one of the things that's come up quite a bit is I've got an item and it's got 50 bids on it, and somebody walks by that night and accidentally knocks it off the table and it's completely busted. And like, what do I do? And you hide it, but then everybody still has bids on it and they're asking like, you know, what happened to the item I was bidding on? What we let you do now is what we call pulling an item. And what that's going to do, I won't dive into it, but it will allow you to delete all the bids in the auction, okay, or on that item. And then it'll allow you to then basically hide the item, okay? So that's one thing we've added. There's an auditor on the item. And the auditor is going to allow you to kind of see what all of the different changes that were made on the item were. So that's in there too. Obviously, copy's been in there before. If I go to media and you go to choose images, we now let you drag in as many as you want, and it'll load them all at once. So
This is my new favorite.
you like this?
No,
Okay.
totally. Anybody who builds a lot of auctions is going to love that.
Yeah.
very happy with
Anyway, so that's in there as well, and I'm not going to go drag them, drop them in here, but you can drag in 10 and it'll load them all.
Yep.
Okay. So that's handy. I think that'll help you guys. The other thing that we're in the process of adding, and this is still kind of in the coming up stage, is we've always had a yes/no question, which we call the on-site question for bidders. And so if you zoom in here, you guys can see this, but so normally it was designed for those people, especially a lot of our professional hockey teams, to ask, are you in the arena or are you not? So that, I'm not going to wait around at the end of the second period for you to come get your stuff if you've been bidding from home all night. And obviously we could check and see what people's locations were, but a lot of people don't share their location. So we were always asking people. Well, we've turned this yes/no question, West Texas, pay attention, into something that you can customize. So it can, in this case here, this is test, but maybe you want to say, maybe you can say, where do you want to pick up your items? And then maybe they could say Colorado Springs is one and Denver is the other one. So maybe you have 2 locations where you're doing pickup and you want to know which one is it. So you get to now customize what yes and no means. Okay.
That's cool.
Pretty simple, but it's going to give you a lot more flexibility than are you on site or not on site. And so what's nice is in the system now, it's not going to say on site or off site. You've seen that. It's going to say Colorado Springs or Denver, which is a little bit nicer. Okay. So hit update and then that would go away. Okay. So that's kind of some of the stuff that's coming up. Okay. And then, let's talk about Sneak Peek. Should we talk about Sneak Peek?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
love Sneak Peek.
Okay, extended bidding. So you guys have been asking this for a while, and so when we had extended bidding, so for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, so this is kind of the popcorn bidding or kind of the anti-sniping tool that a lot of people use. So normally what we would say is for bidders, if you really want to win the item, put in your max bid and make it your true max. Like if it went for one increment above that, I'd be fine to lose it. Okay. But people don't psychologically always do that. And then, especially with our commercial clients in the commercial world, there's a lot of commercial bidders who, the auction house is not a nonprofit. They don't trust them as much. And so they're very hesitant to expose to the auction house what their maxes are, so they won't place max bids. So extended bidding kind of helps them. So what it is you would put in, and we'll show you here, you're going to put in an extension period. And with that period of time, what will happen is say we have an extension period of 2 minutes, okay? When the auction closes, Handbid will say, did any item get a bid on it in the last 2 minutes? Okay. And then if it did, it's going to extend that item further. Okay. And every minute it's going to check. Have 2 minutes passed and this item had no bids. And if it's passed, so basically it's just going to keep setting a close timer on that item of 2 minutes until basically every time a bid comes in, it's going to reset the timer. Okay. So we did that. The other thing that we've added, to that entire release is, and it should come out relatively soon. It's in test right now. Bulk setting of item timers. So if you have 100 items and you want them to all, like say I want them to start closing Friday at 4 o'clock and close every minute afterwards, you now can do that in Handbid. And we'll show you how to do that. And then we're adding in the ability to schedule when you want your auction to open. Okay. So I can show you bits and pieces of this and it might give you kind of a hint of like what it's going to look like. So in your auction settings, we go in there first. You have this concept of extended bidding. So in this case here, we're turning it on and we're setting the threshold to 2 minutes. Okay. So that's how that works. All right. And then on the item side, let's just go to our item list here. And we were messing with this earlier. So you see some items have timers already set. Let's just go down here and let's just grab, these two guys. And so if I pick Weekend in Rio and then the Starbucks gift card, they're both silent items. And I go to bulk action and I say set close timers. I can say close them all in 20 minutes or whatever. Okay. However, I can also say stagger the item close. And so in this case here, let's say we want them to close Saturday at, I don't know, 12 o'clock or something. So I'm going to set Saturday at 12 o'clock and then close them every minute and hit schedule. And it's going to set those. Okay. So if we go down here, you're going to see they're all closing in 2 days or whatever. Okay. Kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Kind of cool. All
yeah.
Right. So that's what we're working on. We have spent a lot of time with extended bidding, really starting to revamp how we close auctions. So we put a lot of careful effort into this to make sure that it's going to be fast and efficient. We want everything to work very smoothly. So when you have 500 items in your auction and you want to open your auction, it's not going to take 5 minutes. It's going to take 5 seconds. Okay. And when you go to close these items, extended bidding can get extremely harrowing and fast at the very end. We want to make sure everything was operating as quickly as possible. So that's why we kind of handled it that way. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay. What else is on our sneak peek? What else is coming up? Is that it?
That was it. You went through it so quick.
We might be able to give some time back.
You might get to go Christmas shopping after all. So that was it for today.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So outside of that, we will do a better job of posting our roadmap in 2024. We did have one in 2023. Most of you didn't know where it was. We always want your feedback. So if there's something there you want to vote up on our roadmap in terms of an idea, vote it up. If there's something that's not there that you hope that we will add or fix or change, let us know. We go through a regular product planning cycle. So for us, the sooner we get your input, the faster we can kind of get it into a roadmap and a plan.
Yeah.
But we're busy. We're working throughout the holidays trying to get these final releases out. So eager to answer any of your questions and eager to give you that email coming up pretty soon saying, go check it out. It's there.
Yep. If you guys have questions after this webinar is closed, make sure you reach out to us at service@handbid.com. We also referenced our Elevate Your Event podcasts. We release those weekly, so they are event specific, and we try to give you some great tips and tricks and get some people on the podcast.
And we try to not make them boring. Look, I get it. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of ways to kind of kill your time on the treadmill. Hopefully, we have a lot of really good content in there, but hopefully we're trying to give you a smile as well because we know it can be a little bit frustrating. But
yeah. So we really appreciate you guys joining us today. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Can you believe it? I
my
cannot
God.
believe we're looking at Christmas next Monday.
I know.
Wow. So
Almost there.
have a wonderful holiday season. We hope you get some rest and relaxation, especially those of you nonprofiters out there. We know how hard you work. And so we're with you on that. We
That's
hope you
right.
get some rest and family time over the
Okay.
next couple of weeks. So
All
thanks
right.
for joining us.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye.